Hello everyone, a very good afternoon. I hope everyone's doing absolutely fine. My name is Avinav Banerjee and I'm back once again on day 17th with this Bridge Course session on Physics curriculum for JEE Main and Advanced. I hope everyone's fine and I hope I am audible and everyone's able to observe me over there in respective computer screens, mobile screens, tablet screens, isn't it? So if yes, you know the norms of the session, you need to give a thumbs up if I'm observable to each and every one of you and audible as well. Yes, good evening, good afternoon. Okay, so today we are going to be continuing the thing which we left in the previous class, and I said that there will be some surprise package for you all. We were discussing about resolution of vectors, if you can recall, isn't it? So can you recall resolution of vectors? We completed addition of vectors, subtraction of vectors, but it's not the end. Today we are going to be solving some questions as well. But first of all, we need to understand resolution of vectors where we left. So no, tomorrow is not a holiday, Akshat. So today let's try to initiate our discussion on resolution of vectors. So what I did something quite interesting, if you can recall. What I'm going to do is I will be taking the y-axis, which is the entire thing which I'm trying to draw is the Cartesian plane, isn't it? X minus x, y minus y, isn't it? So now you can recall what I did. This was the origin. And after that, I drew 4 vectors. I believe that you people are maintaining notes. If not, start maintaining the notes from today onwards. A vector was being directed in the first quadrant, isn't it? A vector was being directed in the first quadrant, followed by B vector, which is going to be in blue color, let's say. There can be some discrepancy in the colors, everyone. So B vector, let's say it's in the second quadrant. C vector, which is in green, let's say it's in the third quadrant, and D vector is going to be in the fourth quadrant. So can you recall whatever we were discussing in the previous class? If yes, give a thumbs up over there, and yes, keep on hitting the like button as well. So can you recall, everyone? So this is what we were discussing. Don't try to chat anything else. Okay. So now you can see that we can try to plot angles. This was theta, this was theta dash, isn't it? Theta was the angle A vector was making with respect to the horizontal, and theta dash was the angle which this A vector was subtending with the y-axis or the vertical, isn't it? So, and after that I resolve the vector into components, so I will be doing it once again. Similarly, we can say that this is going to be alpha, this is going to be alpha dash, this is going to be beta, this is going to be beta dash, this is what I said, this is gamma, this is going to be gamma dash, isn't it? So all you can recall, these were the angles which I chose into the previous class, isn't it? So now we are going to be performing resolution of other 3 vectors. So once I will try to make you recall what we discussed in the previous class. So what I am going to do is, you know that what we have to do. So A vector, if I resolve A vector into components, this is how it would be like. So the components of the A vector will be the mini version of the axis on which quadrant that vector is lying. So I will write it down in the form of a note over here, that in the form of note. Let's try to write it down. So what you need to do is the components of the vector will be a mini version of the axis on which the vector exists. I hope the statement is clear. So this is a note which I am saying to you all. So now you know that this component with respect to theta, if I want to write down this component with respect to theta, it's going to be a cos theta I cap. And if I want to write down the x component in terms of theta dash, where theta dash is the angle which it's making with the vertical, it's going to be written as a sine of theta I cap, if you can recall. This is what we discussed. Similarly, if I write down the y component with respect to theta, it's going to be a sine of theta j cap. And if I want to write down the y component of a vector in terms of theta dash, it's going to be a cos theta dash j cap. So let's say it's theta dash over here as well. So I think so we discussed up to this in the previous class. So can you recall? If yes, give a thumbs up, everyone. So now we will try to resolve the other three vectors, b vector, c vector and d vector. Just try to answer me, friends. Okay, that's really great that you are scoring good in your class 10th examination. So all the best wishes for your JEE main and advanced preparation. Okay, so now if I try to resolve this b vector, where do you think it should be? The mini version, right? This is going to be the x component. I will write down the x component as, let's try to write it down, the x component as b subscript x. And what is going to be the y component? We can write it down it as b subscript y. So everyone knows, now everyone is able to understand what this x component and y component are. So we need to find out the exact interpretation of these, isn't it? So now what needs to be done? You know, can you mention me what will be the x component in terms of alpha? I need everyone to write down the x component of b vector in terms of horizontal component. Means in terms of alpha. Can you write it down over there in the chat box? Very good, Ashwarya. Well done. Appreciable. B sine theta. B cos alpha. Alpha, see the angle carefully. See the angle carefully, everyone. It's B, right? I am asking, Tulsi Krishna, I am asking the B vector, everyone. Try to understand. Minus cos, okay, solo is fine. It has to be minus sign because Bx will be taken negative because it's along the negative direction of the x-axis. It's an obvious thing. So now, if I write down Bx, if Bx wants to be written, so once again I will try to mention you the method which needs to be done. Let's say this is your B vector whose magnitude is, let's say, B, and this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, isn't it? If you can recall, that's the way, that's the method by which I did in the previous class. So this is going to be the y-axis over here. Okay, everyone? So now the B vector is going to be present over here. So let's say that the magnitude is B. And now what needs to be done? We need to find out the x and the y components in terms of horizontal and vertical. The horizontal angle over here is alpha and vertical angle is alpha dash. So now let's try to find out the components in the form of alpha, isn't it? So what we have to do? We need to draw a perpendicular bisector over here. See, such that it becomes a right angle triangle. So this component will be bx. क्या होना चाहिए? That is going to be minus b cos of alpha I cap, isn't it? And what is going to be by? The same concept you can apply. You can use trigonometry and check it, everyone. So by is going to be equivalent to plus b sine alpha j cap. I hope it's clear. The values of bx and by, the one which I wrote it down. If yes, give a thumbs up and hit the like button as well. समझ में आया? Say, everyone, I'm waiting for you for your response. Bx is minus b cos alpha and by is plus b sine j cap. B sine alpha j cap. The reason is that you know that negative direction of x-axis will be having a negative unit vector. Okay, so see, in order to make you understand what are going to be the unit vectors which I have to choose it over here. That's the most important thing. X-axis we need to choose I cap, y-axis j cap, minus x-axis means minus I cap, and negative y-axis it has to be minus of j cap. So these are the unit vectors which you need to assign with the components. Okay, so now let's try to understand. Now we will try to find out with respect to alpha dash. Okay, so with respect to alpha dash, let's try to find out the components. So this is once again, this will be having the same interpretation itself, right? देखो by तो ये तो by रहना चाहिए ना. This is going to be by itself and this is going to be bx itself. you know a rectangle very well. So this is forming a rectangle. If I just try to draw the perpendicular bisectors, it will try to form a rectangle. So now can anyone tell me what will be the value of By in terms of alpha dash? Can write it down over there in the chat box. What do you think is going to be the value of By in terms of alpha dash, everyone? Bx is sine alpha dash I cap. Okay, with a minus sign, it has to be minus sign. Very good, very good. Gudapapur Reddy is right. Right, very good. Yagnashri is correct. So now By is going to be written as, you can see that it's going to be the cosine component this time. So By is going to be plus cos, you can write it down like this. By is going to be equivalent to plus B cosine of alpha dash j cap, isn't it? And Bx is going to be written as minus B sine alpha dash j cap. I hope it's clear. So this is how we can resolve the vector into components based upon the angles. Based upon the angles, everyone, because you have to check that which angle it's being oblique with. If it's with respect to the horizontal, you can say that it's cosine. But if it is with respect to the y-axis, the x component is going to be sine. Okay. Now you got it? So now can you resolve this C vector? Now my question is C vector, how can I resolve this? This is how we can do, isn't it? This is Cx, this is Cy. So now everyone needs to write down the components of C vector along the x-axis, along the y-axis, if the angle is with respect to beta. Can you write it down over there in the chat box? Yes, Gautam. Good evening. Write it down over there in the chat box, everyone. What do you think? Cx is C cos beta I cap plus or minus, Yagnashri. You are right, but C cos beta, I think so you missed the sign for Cx, Yagnashri. Which one? It's j cap? Yes, you are right. Thank you. Good observation. It has to be I cap. Okay. So now this is fine, isn't it? So Bx in terms of, so you can write it down that Bx can be written as minus of B cos alpha I cap or minus B sine of alpha dash I cap. Similarly, By can be written as B sine alpha j cap or B cos of alpha dash j cap. Yes, you are right. Very good observation. What about C, everyone? Yes, now Srikar is correct. It seems out to be no. It's minus C sine beta. You are saying j cap. Okay. Correct itself. Very good, Srikar. So now you can see that we can write down Cx as what? So Cx can be written as, once again you can try to perform the same notation which I did it over here. The same significance needs to be followed. Just try to extend it and draw perpendicular bisectors. You can check the same thing out. Now you can write it down over here as Cx can be written as what? Minus of, in terms of beta, first of all I will write it down. So that is minus of cos beta I cap, isn't it? And Cy can be written as minus of C sine beta j cap. I hope it's clear. Those who are getting this too, they can give a thumbs up. With respect to beta, they can give a thumbs up over there in the chat box. So similarly, I'm waiting for you all. Okay. भाई सबका आंसर आना चाहिए. सबका आंसर आना चाहिए ना इधर. Isn't it? ठीक है, चलो. So now this can be, or I will say that if I want to write it down in terms of beta dash, which is the down over here, see, is making the vector making means force vector, electric field, magnetic field. So it will be giving you based upon it. So now I will say that making an angle with respect to x-axis to horizontal, I will say. This is going to be the phrase, the statement which they are going to be using it over there, isn't it, in the questions. And now, if they are going to be using the statement, let's say if the angle is, you know the meaning of WRT? WRT is the short form which I am using it for with respect to, isn't it? So with respect to y-axis, okay, you can say that that's vertical. And what's going to be the phrase? The phrase is going to be making an angle with respect to vertical. They will use the word vertical over there, isn't it? With respect to vertical. That's what I can write it down. Okay? So now if I want to write it down, write down the components with respect to the vertical. And what's the angle the C vector is making with respect to the vertical? It's beta dash. Okay? So now what I will be writing it down over here. So Cx can be written as, what I will be saying, minus C sine of beta dash I cap, and it can be also written as the y component similarly can be written in terms of beta dash as minus C cosine of beta dash j cap. So now if any vector makes some angle with respect to the horizontal, the x component you just need to recall, the x, I will write it down in the form of a note, the x component is going to be cosine, and if the vector is making some angle with respect to the vertical, you can say that the x component is going to be sine. So this is going to be the difference in between them. Okay, Naga Kaushik. Minus hona chahiye na of x axis and y axis. So now it's your turn, everyone, to find out for the d. Can you give me the components in terms of horizontal? D के बारे में बोलिए. Naga Kaushik, minus it should be. You're right, but you are missing the negative sign. Okay, minus I'm unable to see, might be. See, Cx is equal to minus Nageshwar Rao Makena. Dx is equal to d cos gamma I cap. Dy is equivalent to minus d sin gamma j cap. Okay, great. And what about with respect to gamma dash? Now it's correct, Kaushik. Now it's correct, Kaushik. Great. What about the others? बाकी सब बोलिए क्या होना चाहिए? We are asking about this D. We are asking about this D, everyone. What needs to be done? Okay, with gamma dash, you are right, everyone. So now, once again, this is going to be dx and it's going to be dy. So you can see that since the dy component is along the negative direction of y-axis, it will be associated with a negative symbol. Perhaps the x component is going to be associated with positive symbol itself, isn't it? So now I can write it down over here as dx can be written as what? So let's try to write down. Dx can be written as, in terms with respect to the horizontal, क्या लिखिएगा? With respect to the horizontal, you can write it down it as, I think so some of you already got it correctly, but everyone needs to focus here. सबको focus करना पड़ेगा इधर. Then only you can get something, isn't it? So dx is going to be equivalent to, you can write it down it as d cos gamma I cap, and it can be also written as, in terms of gamma dash, it is going to be d sine of gamma dash I cap. Similarly, what you will be writing it down for dy, dy can be written as d sine of gamma j cap, and it can be also written as d cos with a minus sign, it's an obvious thing, d cos gamma dash j cap. I hope it's clear, everyone. So these are going to be the values. I hope it's clear, everyone. Do mention with a thumbs up, hit the like button, everyone. Till May 10th, your bridge course session will be there, Venkateshwara. Everyone needs to speak up, isn't it? I know, first of all, congratulations for those students of CBSE class 10th who are scoring 495 and those who are discussing right now about it. A heartfelt congratulations from my side. Okay, whatever marks you have scored, that's really great. Try to maintain this the same thing for your CBSE class 12th examination as well, and try to score the same type of marks whatever you obtained in science, in physics and chemistry in your JEE Main examination. Okay, great Naga Kaushik, well done. Okay, if you have completed this. So now you can write down a small note based upon this. I will write it down. लिख लीजिए note की तरह. So the note is quite interesting. I will say that a note, very important note. इससे आपका सब concept clear हो जाएगा इसका. So the note is, if the vector makes an angle with respect to the horizontal, right? If it makes some angle with respect to the horizontal, then the x component will be always cosine. ठीक है, it will be always cosine along the sine convention. ठीक है ना? X axis, if it's positive x axis, it will be cos theta. Negative x axis है तो minus cos theta. Okay. The next note I will say that important note number 2. I will say that if the vector makes an angle with respect to the vertical, then the पहले क्या था, horizontal था, isn't it? So I will be marking this with inverted commas. Then the y component, then the x component itself, it's better to understand with the x component itself. Then the x component will be always sine along with, you can add the word along with, everyone, along with the sign convention. ठीक है, along with, you can say along with the sign convention. Okay, so these 2 points are very, very important. You need to recall this. So you can see, you can observe the statements whatever I wrote over here itself. इसी diagram में you will be having a crystal clarity what I am trying to mention over here. Okay. So now I hope this thing is clear, everyone. Now you can see, you can visualize this, what I am trying to say. But someone was saying that 495, someone has secured Harshita. Okay. So that's why I also don't know when the CBSE results are going to be disclosed. Okay. Is it clear, everyone? Yes. Okay. Fine. Check about this thing. So now, what surprise I am about to say is, see, you won't be finding this type of explanation for resolution of vectors anywhere. You go and search any books, you won't be finding any explanation of resolution of vectors for all the types of vectors being aligned across all the 4 directions, existing along all the 4 quadrants. So that's the reason I have named this technique after my surname. So I will profoundly write it down over here. This as This could be mentioned as VRD. It's my name, okay, surname Banerjee's VRD. Banerjee's vector resolution diagram, I will be calling this as. Okay, so you won't be finding this type of description along with all the 4 vectors being aligned along all the 4 quadrants like this. So that's why this I have been using this technique to teach my students since I initiated my teaching career. For the last 8 years I have been teaching like this. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, definitely I believe that you should be hitting up the like button and give a thumbs up for this as well. Thank you, Ashwarya. So, shall we proceed to the next context? Okay. ठीक है, लिख लीजिए everyone. Write down whatever it's being given over there. Okay, so I hope it's clear now. So now this is what your resolution of vectors is all about in the, okay, next page. This is the next page, everyone. Very, very important notes which I have given you. Yes, exactly, Naga Kaushik. My name ends with JE. I also prepared for JE, right, isn't it? No, Surinder Banerjee is not included in my family, okay. Yes, Pavan, it was JEE main. If you are going to say that previously it was AIEEE, I secured 12,375 in that. Pavan. Okay, Sri Ram, great. I teach in a center over here in Madhapur named as Vagdevi campus. Yes, Venkateshwara, what it was? Yes, it will be given to you, right, in Telegram itself. Okay, fine. So now enough of discussion of this. So we'll be solving questions of this based upon this resolution of vectors in the upcoming days. Maybe on Friday we are going to be solving. So that's why you should go and try to solve some questions from the Chaitanya objective material. If you don't have that, start solving the questions from H.C. Verma. That will be beneficial for you, or D.C. Pandey. Physics Galaxy you can also follow, or Cengage you can follow, it depends upon you. Okay, so start solving the problems on vectors, addition, subtraction and resolution. It will be giving you a good grasp about this context and grasp of this context as well. Okay, so now let's try to know about addition of more than 2 vectors. That's law of polygon. So I think so someone asked me in the previous class that, sir, what about the law of polygon? You did not mention the law of polygon, isn't it? Someone was asking me about this. Can that person come over here and say that, yes, I was the one to ask you this thing? Sir, आपने नहीं बताया इसको. हाँ, Akshat, yes, exactly. So now let's try to understand what law of polygon means. So now if we are having more than 2 vectors, it should be the condition. Okay, so now you can say that it's already being listed over here in the topic itself, addition of more than 2 vectors. दिख रहा है? So now we can have 3 vectors, we can have 4 vectors, we can have 5 vectors, we can have 6 vectors. Okay, exactly. So now let's say I am taking, for example, I am taking 4 vectors. Let's say A, B, C, D. Okay, let's say that this is the A vector in orange color. Let's try to draw this A vector in orange color. We are having B vector which is being aligned in a certain direction. Let's say we are having C vector somewhere over here, let's say, and D vector, let's say in green, dark green. Let's say we are having D vectors. So these are the 4 vectors and now we need to add them. So always remember one thing, that polygon law is not a different law. It is going to be based upon the concept of triangular law of addition. So can you recall the triangular law of addition? Those who can recall, about the triangular law of addition, they can write it down over there in the chat box. So what do we understand by the triangular law of addition? What we need to do, what was the threshold over there? लिखिए statement को लिख दीजिए. You can write down the statement, everyone. I'm not asking you to give me thumbs up. Write down what do you understand by triangular law of addition. So no, I'm not asking the equation, Rani. I'm saying that what we have to do. Do we have had to join the head with the tail of the other vector, or we need to join the two tails of the vector? What we have to do in that? That's what I want to ask. Correct, Sanjana is correct. Join head and the tail. So the same concept is going to be followed over here. What we have to do is, you can write it down over here, that in this you need to add in such a way, you need to follow the triangular law of addition. Triangular law of addition. Okay, so let's try to do this. Let's try to understand it. What is it trying to specify, or it's going to be signifying? Okay, so now what we are going to do, we'll start with A vector over here and the head of. Now what I have to do, I have to join the head of B vector with the tail of vector is in blue. Now we need to join the tail of D vector with the head of C vector, isn't it? So let's try to do it like this. So now where do you think will be the resultant? So now the resultant which emerges out, let's say that the resultant is going to be given in white. So it will be like this. We can say that this is going to be the resultant. This is going to be the resultant, everyone. Take it one to tail, nor head to head. No. Means this is how the polygon law is being done. Else it will become a parallelogram law. You can join the heads, but that will be parallelogram law once again. Mark on A vector. Okay, yes, okay, thank you very much. I need to mark this A vector as well with the superscript arrow sign. Great observation, everyone. That's really great that you all are observing all the things, whatever is being done over here. So R vector is going to be equivalent to A vector plus B vector plus C vector plus D vector. This is what your polygon law states. Isn't it, everyone? This is what your polygon law states. So this is an equation. I hope it's clear, everyone. Those who can recall triangular law of addition, we took two vectors and then I performed the addition of them and finally got the resultant, isn't it? So same thing we are trying to do it over here as well, where R vector is going to be the sum of the four vectors, isn't it? I hope it's clear. If yes, give a thumbs up, hit the like button as well. Resultant is R. This is an equation. I will try to draw a diagram over there. I will try to draw a diagram, everyone. Let's see whether you people are able to give me the exact equation of that polygon addition or not. Okay, let's see. So now what I will be doing is, let's say once again I am taking those four vectors. Let's say this is your A vector, everyone. Let's say this is the B vector, isn't it? Let's say we are having the C vector over here. Let's say we are having the D vector. And now let's say the resultant, not the resultant, something R vector is there in this direction. So can you give me the equation? Can you provide me the equation of the polygon law of addition over there in the chat box? If yes, write down the equations. I am waiting for you all. See the arrow, everyone. Yes, Nageshwar Rao, correct. Sahi jawab, Nageshwar Rao. Very good. Anyone else? Very good. Mrudula, sahi jawab. Resultant is 0. Okay. जितेंद्र सोचिए, इक्वेशन लिखने बोल रहा है, आपने सही बोला वैसे. So many anime fans are there. Yagnashri, in the previous case it was R is equal to A plus B plus C plus D. But this time see the arrow of the resultant is being changed. In the previous case the head of the R vector was being joined to the head of the D vector. This time the tail of the R vector is being joined to the head of the D vector. So now I think so most of the people are correct. Sinjani Rajendra is correct. Then who else? Let's see. Keep on mentioning everyone. Yes, Sanjana is right. What about the others? Pavan Rama, Sahi Jawab. Anyone else? Yes, Sriya is correct. Okay. Venkateshwara Naidu, R के जगह पे 0 होगा, small r के जगह पे 0 होगा. Yes, Satish Reddy is correct. Okay, see, so now most of the people are able to answer it correctly. So in this case, I will say that if I add up all the vectors, r plus a plus b plus c plus d is going to be giving us 0. This is the first way by which, this is the first form of the equation by which I can write down about this polygon law. I can also write this thing down as a vector plus b vector plus c vector plus d vector is going to be equivalent to minus of r vector. This is the second form, and the third form is going to be minus of a vector plus b vector plus c vector plus d vector is going to be equal to r. So all the three forms are correct. All the three forms, if I say, they are going to be absolutely correct for this. Okay? So I hope you got it. If yes, give a thumbs up. So these equations are perfect over here. Okay, everyone? Say everyone, give a thumbs up if you got this, okay, and hit the like button as well. It's an obvious thing. So now enough of theory. I believe that we have been doing theory since yesterday, isn't it? Now let's come to the practical aspect. I believe that now it's sufficient for you to start solving problems on addition of vectors, subtraction of vectors. Actually, there's nothing known to be a subtraction, I said to you, okay, but still they have given the topic, so I'm using it, and resolution of vectors. So now let's try to solve some questions, everyone. बताइए रामचरण क्या हो गया? College will be opening on, the date is about to be disclosed, don't worry. Till 10th of May you are having your bridge course. Okay, so now let's get started with a golden key point. You can say that one golden key point was about to be mentioned, so you can write it down once again. You can get accession reasoning questions, A and R questions based upon this, and after that we can start solving some questions. Okay, so in a polygon, if all the vectors taken in the same order such that the head of the last vector, see, this is what I did, right? Head of the last vector coincides with the tail of the first vector, then the resultant is a null vector. Ye wala dekh lo, the one which I have shown to you, isn't it? This is what I am trying to say, this expression, everyone. So this is going to be equivalent to 0. Okay, so you can see that in the R vector's tail was coinciding with the head of D vector. This is what it was trying to say. And the next is, this is a very important statement. If n coplanar vectors of equal magnitude are arranged, they have asked this in the form of accession reasoning in JEE Main 2023 itself. So you can note this thing down. Arranged at equal angles of separation, then the resultant is always 0. So these are two important points which you need to recall. The first one I have already shown it in the form of an example. I asked you people itself and you were able to answer me correctly. And this one is an extra point which you can note it down. I hope it's clear, everyone. So now let's, if yes, let's start with a thumbs up. June 3, okay, Mangola. That's great to hear. Which campus, Mangola? Okay, fine. So let's get started with the next context, that is some questions we are going to be solving. What type of questions you can get? Okay, let's try to understand this. the magnitude of pairs of displacement vector. See, this is the first question which we are going to solve on vectors. We already solved 2 questions, 3 questions if you can recall. Now let's try to know about this type of question, because this type of questions are very commonly asked questions in JEE Main. हर साल कोई भी शिफ्ट में 2-3 क्वेश्चन इस तरह का आता है. Okay, so now what needs to be done? You can see, read the question, that which pairs of displacement vectors, you know that displacement is what, everyone? Displacement is a vector. We have already discussed about displacement, isn't it? So this term displacement which is being used over here, that is a vector quantity, isn't it, everyone? Yes or no? So displacement vectors cannot be added, okay, to give a resultant vector of 13 centimeters. Which of the set is not possible? They are just trying to say. So now what needs to be done in this type of question? So that's why you need to focus what I am going to do. So now the first set, you need to perform hit and trial for all the 4 sets. What they are trying to say, if I take the first set, we need to add them first. 16 plus 4 will be the maximum value, which is 20 is the maximum value. Okay, and if I subtract them, 16 minus 4 is going to be 12, which is the minimum value, isn't it? So now they are saying that cannot be, and so now the magnitude of that vector, of the displacement vector, has to lie in between 12 to 20 in the first set. So you can see that 13 centimeter exists in between, so it can be considered, okay, it can be added. Got it? So now let's try to, this is going to be the analysis of the first case. For the second case, what we are going to do, let's try to find out the maximum minimum. Can you tell me what is going to be the maximum value of these 2 vectors? Write it down over there in the chat box, everyone. Sunny 3, Rahul Reddy 3, correct. सबने सही आंसर दे रहा है 27, वेरी गुड. इसमें क्या करना है, 20 plus 7, I will be getting it as 27 to be the maximum value, like this. Then you need to do 20 minus of 7, which is 13, which is going to be the minimum value. So now the displacement vector, which is x vector, the magnitude of it will be lying in between 13 and 27, isn't it? So you can see that 13 exists over there. So that's why it is also not, it is also going to be added. Okay, this is going to be fitting the list. Now if I try to do the third one, I think so most of you people are already got the correct answer. Let's try to see the third one. 15 plus 4 is 19, which is going to be the maximum value, and 15 minus 4, which is going to be equivalent to 11, isn't it? So let's see, क्या होना चाहिए minimum. So now you can see that 11 is going to be, कहाँ होना चाहिए? 11 is less than equivalent to displacement is going to be less than 19. So now what do you think is going to be the last one? About 8 and 6. So what they are saying that cannot be added to give a resultant of 13 centimeter. जहाँ पे 13 centimeter से नीचे आ रहा है, ठीक है? So now if I am going to take this, what you will be getting the maximum value? 8 plus 6. You can do it like this, everyone. 8 plus 6 is going to be equivalent to what? Same type of questions we are having, like this. 8 plus 6 is going to be equivalent to 14. We'll be getting the maximum value, isn't it? And 8 minus 6 is going to be equivalent to 2. I will be getting a minimum value. So now this is going to be lying in between 2 less than equivalent to mod of x less than equivalent to 13. Now say, everyone, which one do you think will be the correct answer? Yes, what happened? 1 sir, not 4. Third option 1. Third option. Acha, हाँ, okay, yes, you are right. 1 है ना? Okay, thank you very much. Good observation. It's 1 itself. Thank you for the observation. तो क्या हो जाएगा? 15 minus 1 is क्या होना चाहिए? 15 minus, very good everyone. क्या होना चाहिए? 15 plus 1, 16, 14. तो कहाँ से कहाँ तक लाया जाएगा बताइए? This is what I was thinking. So this is going to be in between 14 and 16. So you can see that 13 is not lying, isn't it? In this case, ठीक है? In this case, you can see that 13 does not exist. 13 will be less than 14, isn't it? So option 3 will be the correct option. I think so most of the people already got the answer correctly. ठीक है? ये 1 है, मैं 4 देखा था. Okay. So this is what it needs to be done. समझ में आया? Got it, everyone? So this is what you need to do. If yes, give a thumbs up. Got? I think so everyone got the answer. This is very simple because this is how you need to solve this type of questions actually. You need to check the maximum minimum value and see that whether this exists in between the range or not. In other words, you are just trying to create a range, ठीक है, 12, 20 with a close brackets. इसमें क्या है 13, 27. Everyone knows the meaning of this close brackets. Close brackets will be including those two intervals. अभी functions चल रहा है. Maths में everyone knows that, isn't it? And this one 14, 16 with close brackets. So this is not possible. So that's why this is the correct answer. And this one 2, 13 with close brackets. Okay, everyone. So if yes, give a thumbs up, hit the like button, everyone. So now let's try to proceed to the next question. Are you ready for the next question? Are you ready for the next question, everyone? Okay, चलो. ये बताइए क्या होना चाहिए? This is your question, everyone. If A plus B is equal to A minus of B, A cap, B cap क्या बोलना चाह रहा है? These are unit vectors. Okay, actually this is cap, everyone. ठीक है, A cap, B cap are unit vectors. So find the angle between them. Can anyone tell me the answer? Okay, Tulsi Krishna is right, 90. Srikar is also correct. What about the others? बाकी सब क्या लग रहा है? क्या होना चाहिए? बताइए. What do you think? Exactly. So now you know that the magnitude of unit vectors has to be equal to 1. I already got the correct answer. So what needs to be done? A plus B means square root of 1 square. You know that A plus B ka mod. You know the formula A square, square root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, isn't it? You know the formula very well. So what we are using this, everyone, those who are new to this session, you can use this formula. A vector plus B vector ka mod क्या होता है? Square root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, isn't it? And similarly, you can say that mod of A minus of B vector is going to be equivalent to square root of A square plus B square minus of 2AB cosine of theta, isn't it? So now you know that mod of A is equivalent to mod of B is equal to 1. So this is what we need to do it over here. So 1 square, we can write it down over here as 1 square plus 1 square plus 2 into 1 cos theta, ठीक है, is going to be equivalent to what? Square root of A equal to A minus B, right? So 1 square plus 1 square minus of 2 into 1 into cosine of theta. होगा ना? Squaring on both the sides. Perform the squaring on both the sides. Then what I will be getting? तो आ जाएगा 1 square plus 2 cos theta. Over here it's going to be 1 square plus 1 square minus 2 cos theta, isn't it? ये 1 square 1 will be getting cancelled out. Minus 2 cos theta will come to the left. It will become 4 cos theta will be 0. That means cos theta is going to be equal to 0. This is going to be theta will be cos inverse of 0. क्या होता है? Isn't it? So they are saying the angle in between A and B. What do you think? अब angle क्या होना चाहिए? Cos inverse of 0 क्या होता है? 90 degrees. ठीक? Which is equivalent to pi by 2 radians. So you can get several type of questions. I hope it's clear. Are 90? Those who got the value of it as 90 degree, give a thumbs up, everyone. Pi by 2 rads. U1 will ask, you need to be specific, isn't it? Pi by 2 rads बोलना है, radians. ठीक है? Okay. Last part. 1 square 1 minus 1. You can bring like this, right? ये क्या हो जाएगा? 1 plus 1 2 cos theta is equal to 1 plus 1 minus 2 cos theta, isn't it? This can be written as what, beta बताओ? 2 plus 2 cos theta is equivalent to 2 minus 2 cos theta. So this will be coming over here. 2 minus 2 इधर क्या हो जाएगा? This is going to be equivalent to, आप लिख सकते हैं minus 2 cos theta minus of 2 cos theta. जो भी है, whatever it is, this is going to be 0, right? And this is going to be minus of 4 cos theta. This is how also you can do. So the same expression I will be getting. Okay, those who did not understand this, you can do it like this, isn't it? This can be brought to the RHS and we can solve it. So cos theta will be 0 itself. I will be getting cosine of theta will be 0. Minus sign will be transferred to the LHS. Neha, it's not possible for keeping the class in the morning because I'm having my affiliations with my students of Vagdevi campus as well. Okay. Got it? So now you can, anyways, you can try to focus here itself because it's the best time to understand the concept of physics. 4 to 5, it's fine, I believe. Okay. Next is, चलिए ये बता दीजिए, सब आसान है. Let's try to see, let's try to play a quiz. Let's try to play a quiz, everyone. Tell me the answer. Which of the following statement is false? Mass, speed, energy या scalars कौन सा गलत लग रहा है? Momentum, force, torque or vectors? Give me the answer, everyone. I'm waiting for the answer. Okay, Paturi is correct, 3 is false. Okay, 1. भाई तीनों स्केलर है, we already discussed about it. हाँ 3. So distance is a vector जो कि स्केलर होना चाहिए ना, while displacement they are asking which of the statement is false. So distance has to be a scalar and displacement has to be a vector. So the answer is C. So they are saying that see all the things, mass, speed, energy are scalars. ये सही है, momentum, force and torque are vectors, ये भी correct है, right? All the 3 statements are actually correct. And this scalar has only magnitude whereas vector has both magnitude and direction. They are correct. So you can see that only option 3 is going to be incorrect, isn't it? Very good, everyone. I hope it's clear. So now let's try to see the next question. Let's try to answer it in a rapid fire fashion. ठीक है, चलिए बहुत सही. अगला question बताइए. What should be the answer? A physical quantity which has a direction and obeys triangular law of vector addition. क्या होना चाहिए? You all have to answer this. 1. Very good. So now it is a vector, right? Obviously it has to be vector because it's saying that it has a direction and obeys triangular law of vector addition. This is the most important property. A vector is something which follows the triangular law of addition, isn't it? So that's why it has to be a vector. Very easy question, isn't it? So these are conceptual questions which I believe that you should be solving before understanding the numericals. Okay, बहुत सही. सही जवाब. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Those who understood it, give me a thumbs up and hit the like button. Let's try to move to the next question. The forces which meet at one point and the lines of action line the one plane are called. कौन सा होना चाहिए? सोचिए. We already discussed about the types of vectors, everyone. So which one do you think will be the correct answer? Option 2. Option 4. Yes, correct. Concurrent and coplanar. Why is it so? Concurrent are going to be, you can say that they will be meeting at one point. We discussed that thing in types of vectors. You can watch the lecture session which was being conducted on Monday, isn't it? Monday and Saturday it was being discussed. So you can go and watch the lecture sessions on that. Exactly. So that's why. And their lines of action line one plane. So obviously it has to be coplanar, isn't it? Concurrent is where they are going to be meeting at a single point. So option 4 will be the right answer. Very good, everyone. Let's try to move to the next question. Which of the following physical quantity is not an axial vector? बताइए कौन सा होना चाहिए? Which of the following is not an axial vector? Option 4th, 3. What is axial vector? Angular velocity, isn't it? If you can recall, angular velocity, torque, angular momentum, angular acceleration, all are axial vectors. All those vectors which are associated with rotational motion are going to be known as axial vectors. So which one do you think is not an axial vector? It is velocity. Velocity is not an axial vector. Okay. Paturi, I already said, right? Those vectors which are going to be associated in rotational motion. We have to apply Maxwell's corkscrew rule to determine the direction. Yaad hai? If you can recall, everyone. If you can recall, everyone, just try to recall. Yaad kariye. Chaliye. Okay. So let's move to the next question. The direction of angular velocity is vector is, now there itself, there will be a test whether you people really understood the concept of axial vectors or not. Let's see. What about this one? The direction of the angular velocity vector is, circular motion mein bhi kaam aata hai, that's right. Okay. So which one do you think will be the direction of the angular velocity? क्या होना चाहिए? बताइए जल्दी. ऑप्शन फोर्थ, ऑप्शन वन, ऑप्शन फोर्थ. वन तो नहीं होगा ना. टेंजेंट ऑफ द सर्कुलर पाथ में क्या होता है? लीनियर वेलोसिटी होता है, टेंजेंशियल एक्सेलरेशन आता है. दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर. अलोंग द डायरेक्शन ऑफ रेडियस वेक्टर सेंट्रीपिटल एक्सेलरेशन कम्स. ओके, and opposite to the direction of radius vector, that's centripetal acceleration itself. So the correct answer is going to be along the axis of rotation, isn't it? It has to be along the axis of rotation. Let's say if you are going to be observing the fan, right? If I say that the fan is rotating in like this, in this direction, in anti-clockwise sense, you will be able to find out that the torque or the angular momentum, the angular velocity, let's say it's rotating with some constant angular velocity. So I will be saying that thumbs up over there means the angular velocity is being directed in the plane perpendicular to the rim of the fan. Okay, so everything, all these things are going to be taught by your respected sirs and madams who are going to be teaching you circular motion, rotational motion. I am just giving you a sort of taste about these concepts. Okay, so we are over here to clarify all the things for your JEE in advanced curriculum. That's what Sri Chaitanya is for you all. Okay, so now let's move to the next question, everyone. Let's see. ये क्या होना चाहिए? If n cap is a unit vector in the direction of vector A, then कौन सा सही होगा बताइए? Which one do you think will be the right answer? नहीं समीर बेटा, 2 मिनट बचा हुआ है. 2 minutes are left. Yeah, it's also good. Venkateshwara, Mayuri Bhavan is also one of the famous campuses. 1, 2. कौन सा बोला था? N cap is 1. Of course. क्या बोला था? कि a vector, A vector, let's say I am taking A vector, any arbitrary vector A is going to be associated with a magnitude and direction. So this direction they are asking. So what do you think it's going to be? That is A vector by mod of A is going to be the right answer to this, isn't it? Okay, so tomorrow we will start with this. This is going to be tomorrow's lecture session. We are having n number of questions like this. We'll start solving the questions from tomorrow onwards. Okay, so that's it for today, everyone. We are having lots and lots of questions. It will be giving you better clarity with addition and subtraction of vectors. Once we are done with this, we will start the products associated with vectors, but it will be requiring 2 classes to complete all the question solving. We will be having 2 hours and there will be rapid fire sessions for each and every one of you, and I require everyone's participation to all of these. Okay, so thank you for today. So that's what I would like to say, that start solving the problems of H.C. Verma, D.C. Pandey, Physics Galaxy, Sengage, B.M. Sharma, and most importantly, if you receive the objective of our Sri Chaitanya institution, then you should be initiating to solve the questions of vectors over there. Okay, that's great, Ashwarya, that you are from Vagdevi Vijayawada. Okay, so now everyone needs to practice, start solving the questions. Okay, start solving the problems. Tomorrow we will be playing a quiz and really require a participation. So departing right now, it's Avinav Banerjee for you. If you have liked the lecture session, give a like, keep on hitting the like button, share the lecture as much as you can, and last but not the least, you should be subscribing our Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions channel. Thank you very much.